Dear friends, today I'm going to show you a completely lethal gambit that'll help you win a ton of games. It's a gambit you can play whenever your opponent opens with e4, which is fantastic because most of the time we face this move. And the great thing about this gambit is that it's played with the black pieces. I rarely bring you gambits for black, and this one is spectacular. The first time someone played it against me, I was totally stunned. I didn't even know what was happening to me. First, let's start with the Scandinavian defense. Careful, we're not going to talk about the Scandinavian defense itself. It's a gambit that starts with the same move as the Scandinavian defense. Here, the only correct move for white is to capture this pawn, because if they do anything else, we'll capture and end up in a great position. So what happens when they take with the pawn? If we recapture with the queen, we're already in the Scandinavian defense. But no, we're going to play the knight to f6 variation. A spectacular variation. No doubt, attacking this pawn is going to bring us some incredible successes. Why? Because white doesn't know how to defend against this gambit. First, what's the most common move here for white, chess teacher? It's the following knight to c3. They think they're defending this pawn, but they're really not. Why? Because we're attacking it with two pieces, with the knight and the queen. Therefore, we'll continue with knight takes pawn. Here, the most common move again is knight takes knight, and now queen takes knight. What's different from the regular Scandinavian? First, we have an excellent queen because she can't be chased away. There's no knight that can drive her out. So this queen is tremendous. And best of all, she hides some tricks that are extremely hard to stop. Our opponent won't be able to stop all these tricks. I assure you, if you're playing at an intermediate level, below 2000 ELO, this gambit is amazing. So what's the most theoretical and most commonly played move here? D4. It makes a lot of sense. Playing with a pawn in the center is great, and it also lets you develop both bishops. It's probably the best move. And so, this is where our plan begins. Pay attention because it's very simple. If you pay attention to this video, you'll be able to use it really well. Knight to c6. What is knight to c6 doing? Well, the first thing's obvious, right? It threatens the d4 pawn with both the queen and the knight. We could also play this trap if instead of d4, they play knight to f3 first, which is also very common. The idea is that now, if they haven't played it before, they're going to have to play it now because we're attacking the pawn with two pieces. Here, pay close attention to this move because it's the key. Knight to b4, an extremely important and excellent move. Come on, chess teacher, if you're not threatening anything, don't try to fool me. You're not threatening anything at all because these two squares are well defended. Careful. The threat is deadly. What's the bread? Playing queen to d4 check, and this queen also supports the c2 square. Therefore, here we could capture with knight takes c2 check and win the rook. So here, most logical moves like a3 trying to kick out the knight, c3, c4, or any other don't actually defend anything. And we can play queen to e4. For example, the most common move here is c3, strengthening the center and threatening the knight. And here, logically, they've already fallen into the trap. By the way, I have the best news in the world, and I'm going to show you right now. Pay attention to what I have here. My new book is now available. I'm so excited. I'm going to stand up to show it to you properly because you're going to love it. Check this out. This is my new book, The Secrets of Real Progress, available in Spanish and also in English, in both languages. I'm going to explain to you why it's amazing. This book has three phases, three parts, okay? It's like three books in one. In the first part, right here, I explain the difference between players who improve and those who don't in chess. So many years of experience have taught me something, and I'm going to put it all in this book so that you can be part of that small percentage of players who actually improve. Here are all the keys. In the second part, I teach you how to improve your tactics. Look, all of this, tactics are what decide the vast majority of chess games. And I'm going to teach you how to recognize patterns and how to apply them correctly to win many games. And the third part of the book is the most fun of all, a massive training session. Pay attention. What's this massive training all about? Well, I've set up real game situations for you. Moments when one of the two sides can win the game with a tactical theme, and you'll have to solve them. So I put it together in 100 examples. You'll have 100 examples to practice with. It's a super practical book. Spectacular, right? And of course, at the end, you have the solutions. Let's see if it arrived. Here you have the solutions. I've made this book available in physical format, meaning you can buy it and have it delivered to your home, just like any regular book, okay? Or also, if you want it a bit more affordable, in digital format, so you can download it immediately after purchasing it and have it available digitally for your computer, your tablet, your phone, wherever you want, okay? And honestly, both options are very reasonably priced, whether you want the book for your home or you want to download it digitally. I'll leave the links down below in the description so you can get it either digitally or physically, okay? Oh, and it's available in both Spanish and English. You're gonna love it, I promise. This book is a great key to really start making progress, just like the title says, in chess. All right, how should we continue? Let's get to the most important part, with queen to e4. You remember what we were threatening here, right? All right, we're threatening this. Whether they block with a bishop, the other bishop, or the queen, the threat remains the same. Let me explain. If they block you with a bishop, that's very simple. Check, and I take the rook. And if they come at you with the queen, really don't worry. It's the same thing. They're not threatening your queen if you give a check first. Check. They have to move the king, and we trade queens. That's important, right? We trade queens first and then capture the rook, okay? This is what's important. For example, the most common thing is that they block with the bishop, we jump in with the knight, check, and take the rook. And the good thing about this line isn't just that we take a rook. Well, yes, but there's something even better. They won't even be able to get this knight back. Let me explain, because this is really interesting. Now, if they try to capture this knight, for example, by moving the bishop to attack it, we can always retreat to the c2 square because it's defended by the queen. And here's a little trick I'm going to show you now. Also, if you want, you can play queen to d5, attacking this spot, you capture it, and then bring the knight out this way, okay? But pay attention to this little trick, the threatening your knight. All right, we try to move it out. Now there's a move that seems to win back the piece. Bishop to d3 because it threatens the queen and the knight, both pieces at once. If you move the queen back, they'll take your knight. The idea here is that we have knight takes bishop with check, and when they capture, queen takes pawn. But there's a much more fun move, right? It's the one I always play when they try to win my knight, and that's queen takes bishop. Look at this beauty. We sacrifice the queen, right? They have to capture no matter what, because if they don't, they're going to lose another piece, and then knight takes pawn, check, and I'm going to take the queen. For example, in this position, as you can see, if we count the material, we have 2 rooks and 2 pieces against 1 rook and 2 pieces. That's a piece up. And now the line I'm going to show you is super, super, super important. Pay attention. There's a way for the white pieces that looks like they might be saved. Or so it seems, right? Let's review first, because this is important. e4, d5. How do we get here? Pawn takes pawn, and instead of capturing with the queen, we play knight to f6. Knight to c3, we capture, and after the exchanges here, they can play either knight to f3 or d4 first. Knight to c6, attacking this pawn with 2 pieces, knight to f3 defending, and now the key move, knight to b4. All right, first of all, you need to know one thing. For example, with c3, there's a way that looks like white can get out of trouble. After this check, queen to 4 check, the correct move for white seems to be king to d2. Strange move, right? The king moves toward the center, but look, if we understand that the threat was knight to c2, this move is excellent. It's a very practical move because it gets the king out of check and defends the c2 square very well with both the king and the queen against the knight. Chess teacher, is my attack over here? Nah, first of all, good news for those of you with a bad memory, okay? There's a line here to force a draw if you want. You just give check. The king can't come this way because of the knight, so it has to go back, either to e1 or e2. It's the same because we're going to give check. And here, if you want, you can just keep repeating the moves, and it'll be a draw by the threefold repetition rule. Now, for those of you who are like me and want to win the game, and even troll your opponent a little, there's a move here that's just spectacular. Pay attention. e6. Come on, chess teacher, you're going completely crazy. You're leaving your knight hanger. What's going on here? Well, this is going to be the mistake that ends up punishing them in the game. Why? Because if they take the knight, bishop takes pawn, and that's nothing less than checkmate. With the bishop and the queen, we don't let the king escape anywhere, and there's no piece that can block the check. So this would be checkmate. Spectacular, right? Now comes a super important part of the video, which is when they play c4 against us. What should I do, chess teacher, if my queen is under threat? I'll show you. e4, d5, pawn takes pawn, knight to f6, knight to c3, knight takes d5, knight takes d5, queen takes d5, d4, knight to c6, knight to f3. I switched to turbo mode here, huh? I went fast, didn't I? The idea is that we're going to play knight to b4, right? We've seen that if they play c3, a3, or something else, we're going to play queen to d4 and we're going to win here. But what happens if my queen is threatened directly? All right, let's stop and think for a moment. Let's reason this out. The threat on our queen, yes, but we already wanted to move the queen, right? We wanted to play queen to e4. Check. All right, whether they block with the bishop, the other bishop, or the queen, it's the same, right? Knight to c2, check, and I take a rook. But what happens? We already know that the move that seems to get away is king to d2. And now things change a bit. It changes a bit because now we can't do the perpetual check anymore since the king escapes. So what do we have to do here? It changes a bit, but don't worry, it's very simple. The idea here is that we're going to do the following. We're going to play bishop to f5. A move that keeps putting pressure on our position. Don't tell me it's not wonderful. It's true that right now we don't have mate or anything like that, but the opponent's king is in the center of the board, really badly placed, and our pieces seem perfectly positioned. Yes or no? Both the queen and the bishop are attacking this point, and together with the knight, they're once again threatening knight to c2, attacking the rook, and also this pawn here that's going wild. Do you see it? So, what do white have to do here? Careful, let your alarms go off, because here the opponent has only one move that seems very aggressive. I'll explain it to you. Queen to a4 is really the only move that offers any kind of counterplay. But don't worry, because we're winning here. Let me explain. Alright, they check us and take our knight, but don't worry, we pull the knight back, and on top of that, they pin the knight and can keep threatening us. Our opponent here is going to rub their hands together and say, there's no way I can lose. I'm about to win a piece. But relax, we're completely winning here. A lot of you are probably thinking I should castle, right? Castle long, put the rook here, and they can't capture me because this pawn is pinned. Well, that's not a bad idea, but there's a much better one. The idea is to play e6 directly. Why? Chess teacher, you're going crazy again and leaving your knight hanging. Well, yes. And in fact, they have to capture it, because if they don't, we're going to take this pawn, and after pawn takes pawn, queen takes pawn, we've won a pawn, the king is in a terrible spot, the bishop is going to come in with check, the enemy is in a bad way, or rather the opponent is in a bad way, sorry for the expression. And on top of that, we have an extra pawn. So here, there's nothing better than accepting the sacrifice and taking his knight. Ah, my friend, you've dug your own grave. Now, castling long is truly a fascinating move. Why? We check the king, and it can't be blocked with the knight because we capture it, nor with the bishop because we'd capture that too. So here, there's only one solution. And what is it? The king has to escape to c3. There's no other way, you see. And here, there's a really great move, huh? Let's see if you can find him. I'll just give you 3 seconds. 1, 2, and 3. Which is rook to d3, check. They can only capture with the bishop, and now queen takes bishop would be checkmate thanks to this bishop, which can't be, or rather doesn't let the king escape, and this would end up being checkmate. So this concept is going to allow you to win a lot of games with black. Make sure to save this video so you don't lose it, because otherwise you'll be saying, where was that great video from Chess Teacher? And you'll never find it again. So save it well, okay? Give it a big like if you enjoyed it. And above all, pay attention because this really is good news, okay? You have this book available, and I'm completely convinced it's going to help you make real progress in chess. I've written it really well, easy for everyone to read. You're going to love it. And on top of that, it's fun because it has a practical section you can study for a long, long time. You're not right. It's available in physical format if you're one of those people who likes to get it delivered to your home and have a physical book, or in digital format, which is even more affordable, okay? And you'll also have access to it forever. So I'll leave the link in the description and you can choose Spanish or English, physical or digital. I hope you loved this video. Leave a big like if you want more videos like this. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any videos, and I'll see you tomorrow, as always, in the next video. Bye, friends.